the 2020 Australian University League, presented by Chatime. Win cash prizes and represent your university in titles such as CSGO, Rocket League, Dota, Overwatch, Tekken 7, Super Smash Bros., Hearthstone, and Rainbow Six. Over $30,000 in cash and prizes. Don't miss out.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome here tonight to the Rainbow Six AEL Season 2 tournament. My name is Proto, and with me tonight is going to be none other than Spudoom. How you doing, Spudoom?
I am doing really well. I'm super excited to be here to give you guys Season 2 of this Rainbow Six tournament. We've got so many teams playing this time, 30 teams with a total of 186 players, and they're going to be fighting it out for some nice prizes, of course, proudly given to us by our sponsors. You have Chatime Australia, our bubble tea partner, and of course Indomie for all that seasoning in your noodles as well, and of course AOC for the best viewing experience on your gaming monitors, and RIG for all your headsets as well. So without them, none of this would be possible, so a big shout out to them, and thanks for all the prizes.
100%, some massive sponsors to say the least, but also let's have a look at some of our massive teams. Now tonight we are going to be doing our first best of 2 for Season 2, and albeit we will be seeing 2 teams battle it out. And the 2 teams that we are going to be seeing tonight is Monash Throwables versus the UTS selloUTS. And some pretty big teams to say the least for our first game, Spud. What are we thinking going into our first sort of couple of games here for tonight? What are we looking at?
Well, if we just look at the seed rankings, we know that Monash Throwables are number 1 in their group, but selloUTS are actually number 2, so right behind them. But of course, Monash, there are going to be some very familiar players here because they are, of course, the winners from our Season 1 championship. So some of these players making their return here for our very first game. So definitely going to be a close one. And we're going to see if Monash will be able to continue their reign of terror and continue on that winning streak from last season, or whether selloUTS will be the first to land a punch in this brand new season. But it will be some very familiar maps nonetheless. I think these maps are almost a cliche, wouldn't you say?
I definitely would say that. We will have a quick little look at tonight's map, Vito, and just to see where we are going to be heading to. It is a best of 2 tonight, ladies and gentlemen, so we're guaranteed 2 maps. And here is the Vito. Coastline will be banned out by Monash. UTS don't want to play Consulate. We will see Oregon and Clubhouse both picked out. Cafe Villa and Chalet to also be removed. So as you said, a very, very staple map pick. Pretty in meta, I would say. Something that we see quite a lot in the competitive scene. Obviously, 2 maps that are very highly played and highly strategized. So definitely going to be some more meta gameplay tonight. Probably nothing too off the bat, but still could see some interesting things come out.
Yeah, this is really a test of whether you can get those mini games right, making sure you do all those steps and just really follow through on your attack. Attacks, especially on these 2 maps, are very, very difficult. One other thing I do want to mention, though, is that Monash, of course, have picked Oregon, and they have actually a flawless record on this map. They've never lost it the entire last season, so definitely a very strong pick for them. I'm surprised selloUTS didn't choose to ban this, so that might come back to bite them in the ass. But as for the players, definitely some, as we've said, some familiar faces returning and some new ones as well. Inside of Monash, we do have Owen leading the pack. Of course, he was a captain from last season as well. Sonics and Adam will be returning, joined by Jumpstream, a new member of this team, and also Terracin, who will be, of course, another player who is new.
Well, and then, I mean, obviously this roster, we've already seen them, most of these, roster, already win last season, so we know that the chemistry is going to be there for them. It's going to be whether or not Jumpstream and Terracin sort of fit in the roles. But let's see who they're going up against tonight. We'll see the roster from selloUTS here. We do see Darren, Kai, Crisley, Molotov, and Stevenson. So no stats are provided. So, I mean, still some pretty big names that I know. I know a few of these guys. I've seen a couple of them play before. So I definitely think they're going to have some sort of competition to bring to the table here. They are obviously the 2nd seed. So, I mean, look, Monash are definitely going to have to keep their heads on a swivel here for these 2 games, I reckon.
Yeah, and with both of these unis, we know that they're unis which have multiple teams entering. So they're definitely going to be sharing tips and tricks. They're going to be working together as well, just kind of get those scrims and that practice in. So definitely both of these teams will be really prepared for what's going to be coming up. Speaking of which, we will be going straight to our first map now. Oregon, first map. Here we go. Monash's pick, so it will be UTS defending first as we go into the very first opening match of our AEL Rainbow Six Uni Cup Season 2.
Well, let's get right on into this first matchup, ladies and gentlemen. Oregon, everybody's favorite staple competitive map. Some have funs thrown out in chat, and starting off, as always, with the bans. I'd imagine we will see a Thatcher, pretty normal ban on a map like Oregon, but Flores has also started to become quite a main pick ban, and I definitely do think we could see Flores banned out here, especially if Monash are looking to bring him on their defensive side on their attacking side when they want to clear out defense. But they could choose to ban him here, just sort of to make their defensive side a lot easier. We obviously do see UTS on the defense to start off with. So if Flores is banned out here by Monash, they're going to have an easier time, but I don't think... No, we will. Okay, so shield meta is going to be a big thing on the bottom floor here for this game.
Yeah, I was really excited to see Flores and just talk about how those drones can really be used, especially, when we all think of that bunker 90 area on the basement site. But alas, it is not to be. Throwables have made that choice to remove him from the board. So we're going to be seeing a lot of soft destruction, a lot of grenades being brought as well. I'm imagining Sledge, Yana are going to be really, really common picks, especially now that Sophia has seen that nerf. We've definitely seen an increase in their play. Kaid will be the other ban being brought out by Monash here. Quite a staple ban, just making opening some of those hatches a little bit easier.
Well, I mean, the name is Throwables, so I'd assume they're going to be bringing a lot of grenades to clear out the bottom floor, possibly flashbangs as well. But Mirror, the last to go, definitely a standard ban, to say the least, especially for Oregon bottom floor. She's a pretty prevalent operator pick, especially if she isn't banned. Even with the recent nerf, she is still really, really powerful. So not out of the ordinary to see her banned out here, and especially when sellouts are on that bottom floor and they don't really want to deal with Monash if they have a mirror in their hands. But we already see Skonic bringing out that blitz jump stream on the Monty, and a Finker from Owen, Ash Sophia. No hard breach unless Monty's bringing the charge, but Pika is going to switch off onto that ace at the last second, and albeit we're going to see 2 shields being bought. No 6 picks just yet. However, a Frost in play for the defense, as well as Kyle Crisley on that smoke. We do see 6 pick from Owen as well. So they do have some anti-shield utility being bought, but Elysian may have been a better thing to see from them on a 6 pick. However, no 6 pick was made. So maybe they're anticipating the Monty to be switched off and they're relying on the Frost. I'm not too sure, but this first round is definitely going to be an interesting one to kick things off here for Season 2.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I didn't think I'd see a double shield being the very first play that Throwables bring out, but looks like it will be both a Blitz and a Monty, so see how that works out. But, you know, in terms of the other operators, you know, standard stuff, we do have, of course, the Yana and the Ace as well. On the side of the defense, I'm seeing a bit of intel denial here. The Mute and the Mozzie combo being brought here to deny some of those drones. I think that's a wise move here, just to deny some of this information game that Monash are going to be bringing. We do know they're very good at those mini games, so denying the information they have available to work with, it's going to be very, very strong. Apart from that, Frost lineup, you know, very, very common on this site, you know, especially with that big window, just preventing those jump-ins. And as we see right there, Frost mat already placed, ready to go.
Yes, the drone economy is going to be a big focus here for sellouts. We know that Throwables are very good at using their drone utility, especially with that Yana on the board from Owen. That just brings even more sort of drone knowledge, you could call it, on the board for them to use and sort of alternatively abuse, you could say. They get a lot of their information before they make most of their pushes. So the Mute Mozzie is going to be a good combo to bring against Throwables because it's just going to slow them down. But they don't actually even technically have drones this round. They just have a massive Monty, and he's going to be pushing all the way into security. He has already spotted out the Mozzie, whose C4 has already ultimately been used, and now trapping him inside of the security office. They're probably going to be able to frag him out relatively quickly here with some vertical play, possibly just through the side of the wall. But no, it's just going to be able to hit him with the fist and take him down. Jump stream to find the first, and Mola will be ultimately the first casualty in this matchup, with Molotov also taking a little bit of that initial damage. 155 in the round, already a minute used, and they've already had so much information, and they've already managed to pick themselves up a kill. Throwables are looking pretty good.
Interesting split push here. They've got a single player pushing through that master bedroom side. Of course, it is Pika, who is very strong player, so not unexpected, and of course we see already picking up a kill. The rest coming up white stairs, and it looks like an easy job already cleaning up. One player remaining, gets one back on the refrag, can't get a second though, as Throwables clean up the first round in quick fashion.
That was a very dominant round from them. We saw a lot of control taken early. We saw a lot of damage dealt early, a lot of kills ultimately as well coming out from Throwables, and the Monty really did seem to cause an issue for sellouts there with no real direct counter. There was some counter on the board, but there was no direct counter utility. Look at this. We see all of it coming out now. We've got cap cans, we've got Tachankas, we've got smokes coming out here from sellouts. I'd imagine we possibly will even see a 6-pick onto maybe a Legion or something because he isn't banned. Ultimately, Malusi is a pretty good pick as well, though, to see here for the defense. Owen actually 6ing onto the Ying. No 6-pick here for sellouts, though. They are looking to stick this roster lineup and albeit switch in a cap can for their previous lineup as well as that Malusi. So they're looking to slow down Monty and alternatively ditch the Mozzie to try and gain a little bit more of that anti-shield. But Terrasan's going to be bringing the line this round paired with the Ying, and Pika on the knock could definitely be a double window jump-in strategy here for an early plant, maybe. It looks like that might be what they're setting up for with the Lion, with Knock maybe lurking up wide or something like that. But sellouts do have the sort of lineup to deny that. 4 C4s, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, in the hands of the defenders right now, as well as a smoke. you've got a lot of denial to try and kill these shields early on.
Apart from just lineup, there's also another thing that I think maybe selloUTS could focus a little bit more on, and that is just playing together. Last time we saw, the Mozzie from Mola just stuck by himself in security, and he had no way out. He had no options. He literally could not do anything against Jumpstream, who was just able to trap him in there. So maybe even just having some rotates to allow the Romans to fall back, or having a second player down there to really provide support. I think that would really, really benefit selloUTS, and maybe that's just something that they need to be working on as they go into these next rounds. I mean, there's still a lot of rounds to be played here, so definitely still time to be learning, but they're going to have to learn fast because Monash so far have been doing things very, very quickly.
Well, speaking of quick, they've already made their way into the bottom of Pillar and are looking maybe for some early freezer control, possibly to come up the back double stairs and go all the way through Attic. But Pika is going to break off from the main group, sort of leading the charge here as the spearhead all the way in kitchen already as Terrasan makes his way up into the main lobby. And there isn't anyone from selloUTS sort of directly in this roam location at the moment. There was one downstairs last time. We do see one in Armory, however, this time he will line him up. Some damage dealt from Molotov there, but the first Candela to come out, and this could be the end of the line for Malusi. Indeed it will, with Owen finding that first kill. A headshot to say the least as well, but Owen hits, I'm pretty sure, every piece of utility the defenders have. It is ultimately taken down by Mola. Kai will take some damage as well, an AD from Pika, but no damage dealt to anybody on site. This jump stream is at the top of white, looking like he wants to execute here. The EE1D is going to come out, and it looks like Throwables are about to drop onto the site. Yes, Mola takes down Terrasan for a double.
That's a much more convincing defense so far here. That Capcan doing a lot of work, and especially just slowing down the attackers, which is what they've really looked for here. But push once again coming out from this white stairs. Kai looks a little bit stuck here and will be taken down from another angle. Traded straight out that though. Back to a 2v2. Jumpstream with the guns out, not the shield, and it's 2 shields against 1 player left. Goes the wrong way though, and that's going to be a 1v1 now as 1 player is down. The diffuser does go down now, and it's going to be a quick revive here now as Darren from IT and Chris are going to have to find Jumpstream, and they do that indeed. 0 vs 2, and diffuser has plenty of time to be defused, and that's going to be a nice comeback win for sellout UTS.
They've done well there. The utility definitely did come in handy, as well as the big plays from the Capcan inside of Kids. I believe picking up 2 big frags there, to say the least. But, I mean, the Capcan traps as well, even only just damaging. I believe it was only Owen that he got with the Capcan traps. But still, it was a massive amount of damage dealt. And albeit did sort of clutch them around. We did see at the end there that Crisley did have 2 smokes left, so we didn't really see the smoke utility coming out possibly as much as we should have seen, but albeit it still did net them that round, and a very convincing 1-1 to say the least. It was also very good to see that res there instead of going for the 1v1. It was a good call to make for sellout, and albeit it did bag them around. But the Legion is finally going to be bored, as well as the Echo Smoke and Capcan. I think we just see more and more operators to try and deny these shields come in every round, but it does look like Throwables are going to be sticking this double shield sort of strategy. We do see an Amaru being introduced into the mix here from Terrasan, as well as a Sledge. So no dedicated hard breach this round for Throwables. They do possibly have Monty on the hard breaching tool, and indeed they do, as we can see top left there. But there is no dedicated hard breacher. So I think what we're going to see here again is just another attempt at brute force frags into the bomb site. But speaking of Throwables, we do see 4 grenades being bought, paired with 2 smokes and 3 flashbangs as well, and only a single Jaeger on the board here for sellout. So they're going to be able to clear out this bunker position pretty quickly, I'd imagine, if the utility obviously is used correctly. But jump stream on that Monty is definitely going to be an issue, to say the least, for the defense if they don't deal with him as efficiently as they did last round.
Yeah, the good thing is they do have that smoke playing that shield, so they're going to be able to buy a little bit more time if they do choose to push that bunker area. Those smokes, of course, being able to just deny the push a little bit longer, but it's not going to be enough if, you know, they are facing all those grenades. 3 flashbangs will send out the ADS, and it's going to leave that smoke very, very, very much exposed. Amari now quickly taking this big tower, so they're going to be coming down from this big tower onto those big tower stairs. So very much telegraphing this con push. And look at that, it is indeed this bunker push. Very much a hard push with the Monty as well, forcing those smoke canisters to be used early as well. And that's not always a good thing here.
It's not good for the defense, especially if you have to use all of this utility early. But from what we can see through the wall, Terrasan actually has a relatively free walk down the back stairs into pillar here. Could have seen a misnade there from Pika, but Jumpstream is actually going to push on through, and Pika will get that frag. But getting a little bit happy to go through that rotate, Darren will be able to take down Skonic, and Kai will lose his life to Terrasan, who now does have the pillar stairs with Owen finding Molotov as well. And very quickly, it's gone from a 5v5 to a 4v2. Well, only just a minute has gone over, but with Mola finding 2 big kills, Owen and Jumpstream both go down. Darren will be taken down though, again as a refrag, and Mola has to find 4 to clutch it up. Here he will indeed! 4 huge kills from the Capcan to keep his team on top in terms of round count.
And you know, they say that Capcan isn't always meta, but I think sellout's UTS begs to differ. That Capcan doing so much work these last 2 rounds, just absolutely tearing through Throwables there. I really thought Throwables had it in the bag. A 2v1 down from a 4v2, very early control of key positions. But unfortunately, they did not take out Yes Mola. And Yes Mola, yes, he can do it. Takes out 2 as unfortunately, a bit unfortunate really, Throwables lines up just at the end there. So maybe Throwables will learn to tone it down a little bit, maybe slow down just a tad. They did have the advantage there, of course, and that was, I guess, thrown, you could say. So maybe they will switch it up and indeed just 1 shield this time, not 2, just 1.
We also see sellout's introducing their own shield. Kai is going to be bringing Clash to the fray here, paired up with a pretty similar lineup to what we've already seen sellouts bringing. Obviously, the Frost and the Capcan, the Mute, the Bandit, all things we've seen them play in this matchup already, albeit Kai was the one on the Frost, as opposed to the Clash. But still, Clash is now being bought. Shield versus shield here for sellouts and Throwables. We do see Jumpstream back on that Monty. He isn't going to be giving that up anytime soon. But Pika is going to be bringing a Carly, interestingly, to say the least. Most likely to get that wall open just inside a small tower there relatively quickly, possibly for a plant. You never know. Throwables are very quick with how they do things. They take a lot of control that they know they have. They do their best to get in quickly, make themselves known. They get their control. They set up their flanks, and then they just execute. They don't really sort of take too much time about it, because time is ultimately what costs them rounds in the end, especially if they take too long. So it's good to see Throwables having that sort of coordination to get in that quickly. I think it does just come down to the execute for them, though. We did see them there, as you said, in the advantage 4-2 their way in operators, and unfortunately, they did lose it, but that was mostly just because of the sheer aggression that we saw there. There wasn't really a refrag lined up. The crossfires from the defense were really, really good, and it ultimately cost them the round. But Throwables here have switched off that shield. They're going to switch up their operator lineup here, and they're looking to equalize back to 2-2.
Interesting site choice here as well. Dining kitchen. Usually the meta nowadays is actually to play in meeting, holding from the top floor here. So I think maybe Monash might be a little bit caught off by that, kind of spawning in on the wrong side as they move across. Nevertheless, they do take big tower, and it's going to be working across towards a kitchen execute. And of course, I've taken this attic control as well. So they do have this top floor control to work downwards. But drones will be coming out this time, which is something I do like to see. I think we did speak about how they're good at passing on that intel, but hasn't been something that's been done very well, it looks like. But improvements are coming along. Never mind that. Miscommunication there. Owen takes out Sonic's early 4v5 advantage for sellouts.
Oh, 3v5 even now, with Darren taking down Owen, and they haven't quite been able to find any kills to equalize. I mean, they did manage to take each other down before they found themselves one, but they're looking to try and take out this Clash by getting aggressive. Mute with the shotgun, though, could end up shooting Clash here if he's not careful. The C4 could come out, but he's not choosing to toy with that idea just yet. They just want to hold the Monty in green hallway. He's just playing for the information, though. Jumpstream is doing a good job at trying to provide and relay the information. But look at his HP, already down to below 50 now from the Clash shock. And that is going to be costing him in the latter rounds, especially with no smoke this time. So he will be fine in that regard. But still, Clash is a big issue for the Montagna. And Jumpstream, well, I thought he got that kill just then, but Pika's going to find Darren. Terrasan will take a little bit of damage trying to ace the main wall here, and Jumpstream back to taking that shock damage, looking like he wants to try and take out Clash himself here, but he's not really game enough to peek all the way on round and commit to it, because he knows that Crisley was close a little while ago. But Pika does have Z control here. He will spot one. He's actually not going to win that fight just yet, with Yesmola taking a lot of damage, but similarly Pika taking a lot as well, and now with only 30 seconds left, they're going to have to execute.
And this is a very well played defense here, especially with this clash, just stalling out the attack so much. Kind of just, you can see this Monty just really struggling, especially with those early bosses, those 2 players taken out. It's just really having difficulty getting a foothold onto the site. 20 seconds left, and they finally open up one of the walls, but the C4 goes off and almost takes out, almost takes out Jumpstream, who will be traded out at the end by the clash, and a nice SMG shot to take out the Carly means another round for selloUTS.
They've done well closing that one out there ultimately. I mean, 1-3 in their favor. It's not sort of unknown to see that, especially on Oregon defense first side. Usually we will see some dominant sort of round count wise sort of beneficiaries going in favor of the defense. We don't usually see attack on top. Attacking is very hard, but it's also very specific on a map like Oregon. And Throwables are definitely going to be looking to try and at least get that 3-3 split, because we've seen them do it before. As we know, this is one of their best maps. They are undefeated on this map, and ultimately, it could just be the first map sort of jitters. It is the new season. We have just had a small amount of off-season here for these players. Obviously, as well, something to consider is the roster swap. We've seen some people moved in and around inside of these rosters, so chemistry, albeit while it may be somewhat strong with the 3 original players, there are still going to be new iterations to this roster that are going to have to be either learning the new strategies or coming up with new strategies for that new roster to play around. And this is why we could see that introduction to that double shield play, because it could be something that they're more comfortable with. But they're actually going to opt off of a shield this round, and Jumpstream's going to be jumping on the Twitch instead of the Monty. So still going to be on a GRGN operator, but not the one with the big shield. And selloUTS, albeit, are going to still be up 2 rounds and looking to make it possibly another round if they can get away with this top floor defense, which we've already seen them win in this matchup. Darren did clutch it, but we could see them perfect their art a little bit and walk away with a more convincing top floor here if Throwables don't have anything to say about it.
Do want to mention that the first defense was also on this site, and it was, of course, won by Throwables with that double shield strategy, but now they've actually switched to something a little more conventional. They do have Diana and Sledge, as we've mentioned, and Twitch, a lot more fragging power. So I think they're going to be a lot more careful with how they approach and a lot more methodical. Just looking at how they played, it just didn't seem like the Monash that we've seen before. So definitely expecting a change of pace here as we go into the second rotation of sites. And they know they have to change it up now because it just hasn't been working, and they need to get into a 3-3 at least before they go into their defensive half.
I think we'll definitely see Throwables shine a bit more on the defense, as it will be something that a lot of these boys will be more comfortable on, as opposed to the attack, because attacking on Oregon is a very reformed art. It is something that you have to be very good at because it is pretty hard to do. You do have to be pretty good at Oregon to sort of understand it. The C4 will come out though from Kai, and he will be able to take down Pika, so that's the only hard breach available here for Throwables, now taken off the board. No one's looking to try and refrag, or at least refrag to the best of his ability, but Diffuser is now in hands of the defenders, and it looks like a mass rotate has been called. Possibly we do see a couple of players changing position, but maybe not. I think they are choosing actually to stay here and try and fight this attic out and try and open up the wall, but they don't have anything to open up said wall, and instead of Ultu is going to come out. Kai will find Owen, but with Yes Mola also finding Sonic as well, it's all up to Terrasan and Jumpstream in a 2v5, which ultimately seems a little bit impossible given the fact that selloUTS have been doing really well since that first round.
Yeah, this is not looking good for Throwables here. 2v4 situation and a minute left. Diffuser down, off-site, and no hard breach left. It's going to be very difficult, and selloUTS will really have to be unlucky or just not careful here if they make a bad peek and give away their lives here. They can just really play safe and just wait it out, but waiting doesn't work for him as he's taken down by Jumpstream on solo health though. Molotov also testing this player. Jumpstream takes out another and makes it 2v3 now. Molotov taking to the fight Harrison, but he does walk through a Capcan mine, and Yes Mola takes him out at the end. Jumpstream, however, answers back and it's 1v2, and who would have thought Jumpstream on so little health? Could he clutch this up, make this an ace clutch? He's looking for the players now, 20 seconds left on the clock, finds one, but not quite. Molotov finally ends the life of Jumpstream. He was on so little health, and just a sneeze was all it took to end the reign and the terror of Jumpstream.
He was close. That shot, that last shot was very, very close to hitting the head of the Jaeger there. And I would have loved to see him do it, ladies and gentlemen. I would have loved to see him jump stream clutch that. But unfortunately, didn't quite land that shot. And sellouts are going to look to end this half, possibly 5-1. We could see a 5-1 split here from sellouts. We could also see Throwables finally land themselves the 2-4. But 3-3 is definitely out of the picture here now for them. So they're going to have a lot more legwork to make up on their defense as opposed to what they would have had with a 3-3. But you know, it's not completely undoable for Throwables. We've seen them pull off some amazing feats before, to say the least. I mean, we've already seen it a little bit there in that round. Jumpstream already coming in huge with massive 3 kills on about 1 HP. I think he hit a Capcan trap as well when he jumped in that main window. So two of those Capcan traps went off last round there for Mola. So the Capcan seems to be a bit of a hindrance for Throwables. They seem to be hitting a lot of these EDDs and ultimately costing themselves a lot of their health points. So Mulder's definitely going to be happy with that. I mean, look at 9 kills and 3 deaths already across 5 rounds of gameplay. I mean, massive statistics to say the least, especially from Capcan. I mean, you mentioned before, Capcan isn't usually something that we see a lot, but in this matchup, he definitely seems to be doing a lot of work in favor of sellouts, and he's actually getting them a lot of key rounds. He tends to swing when the trap goes off and then do the rest of the damage for either a headshot or a couple of body shots, which is really good to see him playing off of his own utility. So hats off personally for Mola right now, but Throwables are definitely hurting due to these Capcan traps, and Jumpstream on the Twitch could look to be the counter to that operator. Darren will take a little bit of damage, whether or not that was friendly fire or spawn peak related, I'm not too sure, but albeit bunker is going to be the focus again for sellouts this round.
Once again, holding onto this bunker with the smoke and also all those ADS shields. So, and the attack will also be pushing in from this area. Once again, they've taken Big Tower first, so they're going to be working their way down Big Tower stairs and adding pressure onto pillars before executing in that bunker site. I would like to see them open up the meeting hatch a little, give them a bit more room to work with an E-box here and just cut off another extra angle. But it looks like they're just going to be pressuring straight from that Big Tower stairs and almost hard pushing this shield, it seems.
Well, Pika now does have that pillar control, so E-box could be next in his line of things to control, but no, a swing on round from Kai is actually going to net him a pretty big frag on the Pika there, but instantly taken down for himself, with Skonic finding himself another one onto Darren. He hasn't been able to confirm, however, onto Kai, unfortunately. Jumpstream finally being able to find that kill for himself. Owen doing what he does best, proning across towards that wall on the E-box, will make himself a nice little hole to peek on through, but no one is going to be there just yet to meet the sights of his AK-12 there. But they do now have some bunker control, and a hard breacher still alive, which is a good start to say the least. They actually have 2 in this situation right now, but still proning all the way deep into the 90 position. Has been reinforced off though, so no one is actually going to be there for him to find, and yeah, the ADS will get the first of his ace charges here. The main wall now to be open. Skonic will eat one of those Capcan traps that we talked about so much at the start of this round, with the Molotov on the Echo Drone spotted out, though. It's going to be interesting to see whether or not sellouts can clutch this with the Echo Drone or whether or not Smoke can hold on here. But now with his wall being opened up, this isn't looking too good for Grizzly.
Oh, and
I take it back.
Look at that. Learns a trick from Owen, goes pro and takes out one with the aggressive swing, takes out another. Grizz is on a roll here with the diffuser down. He's got all the control he needs. 30 seconds left. Jumpstream pushes in and manages to get a triple kill now. It's all up to Jumpstream and Mola. It's a clash of titans here. Another prone on the ground, but he's actually looking the wrong way. I don't know if he sees him. He does, but unfortunately, too slow. Owen turns around in stunning speed to someone who's been lying on the ground and manages to clutch out that round for Monash. The first attack round in a very long time.
Yes, clutched from the floor is where Owen thrives. They call him Prone Wen for a reason, but he's managed to find them another round, and they're going to end the half 4-2 in sellouts' favor. We will now see a transition onto the attacking side here for sellouts. However, we have seen Prone Wen, the man himself, disconnect. So unfortunately, he is going to be gone for the time being. We will see him connect soon, but let's have a look at the lineup so far. For sellouts, we do see both Sledge and Zofia being bought, with Ace and Maverick a pretty good pairing, I would say, especially for Oregon. But it is going to be the bottom four, not the top four. I think sellouts are sort of guessing that they're going to be going to first. Also, we will see Mola bringing the Twitch that we saw Jump Stream on. So somewhat similar, I would say, minus obviously the Maverick. We didn't see Maverick played at all by Throwables, but now on their defense, Alibi is actually sort of an interesting pick here for Sonic. Could be a 6 pick, you never know. Obviously, we still haven't seen the 6 pick phase yet due to the fact that Owen has disconnected. But Pika on that Mozzie, no mute combo just yet. We could see Owen jump on a shotgun when he gets back. It is something he usually sits on, but we're gonna cut back and wait for him to connect. Spud, what are we thinking? Looking at the lineup for this round, what are we thinking this round is going to look like on the bottom floor, to say the least?
Well, I think we're going to see a different style of defense here. I mean, we have seen that Mozzie and also the Alibi, and of course with that new 1.5 times sight, I think we're going to be seeing a bit more roam-heavy defense from Monash. They're going to be, I feel like they're going to be more aggressive in how they hold this. Compared to compared to sellouts, who really just kind of hunkered down on that bottom floor and just put all their resources there. I think we're going to see a bit more of a spread out hold here. And that might actually play well for Monash as well. They get to be a bit more aggressive, take the initiative back, and they need to do that. They're currently looking at 4-2, and although it's not the end of the world, 2-round deficit isn't something to be you really want to be looking at, especially on Oregon, your own map pick. So hopefully they do manage to bring this back. After all, it'd be a shame to see them lose their undefeated title straight off the bat. But yeah, it's now up to the sellouts, however, to do the attacking, and that's where things get tricky. As we know, attacking on Oregon is very, very difficult. We have seen Monash even struggle with that. So, who knows how this could pan out? We haven't seen sellouts in action before, so your guess is as good as mine.
I mean, look, it definitely will be something for Monash to sort of grow into here. If they can translate some of the aggression we saw from their attack into sort of roam time, a roam style, we could even see them get a double roam going, some more refrags that we didn't really see sellouts bring, because sellouts tried roaming once and then Monty sort of boxed that roamer in, and then they didn't really have sort of a aggressive roam as opposed to what Monash could possibly bring. We've seen them bring that aggressive play style, so ultimately the roam could definitely be translated there from their attack. We could see some like vigils being bought maybe from 6 picks, or maybe even just the Alibi sort of going ham with the 1.5 now that she has on the MX4. We could even see Spawn Piece coming out, something like that from Monash. It's definitely something that we've seen them do before, and we could see them bring out again. It could prove to be somewhat detrimental here for sellouts, especially if they're not ready for it. Because if they're playing very aggressive defense, I think it is going to make sellouts attack quite a bit harder. We saw Monash struggle. It's just going to be whether or not sellouts can actually refine their attacks and sort of pull them off a little bit nicer than Monash did today, unfortunately, because maybe as I said, the roster changes might have been sort of causing an issue there. Maybe they're not too warmed up with each other, but UTS are definitely going to give it their best, let's say, on attack. They're going to be looking to clean their slate and possibly even walk away with the first map here. It's just going to be waiting on the reconnect at the moment from Owen. So what are we thinking?
Well, I don't know. I really hope to see a bit more off-site defense. Like, to be honest, so far we've seen them just hunker down on site, just play on site. So I'd really like to see some vertical holds. On the second floor, you can actually hold from the kitchen, put some players in the kitchen. If you have to rotate through security, of course, and you can actually deny some of those jump-ins with C4s, and also just through peaky holes, at the big window. In terms of the bottom floor, you can also be playing in the attic. You can open up that attic hatch and just kind of challenge people who try to open up the meeting hatch, which is one of those critical points. And of course, with the other 2 first floor sites, you can also play in the small tower and also in the kids' bedroom area. So lots of vertical play that can be done here. And hopefully, these players will choose that a little bit more, other than choosing to just sit on site. But we will still be waiting for Owen. Owen, more like when will he back? Sorry, it's best I got.
But look, while we wait, let's say thank you once again to our sponsors, Chatime. AOC, Indomie, and Rig. But we have actually been told that Owen has returned. So when now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be getting back into Oregon very shortly here for our remainder of the 7th round. He is back, but there we go. A 6-pick here from Sonic back onto the alibi, which I believe he was already on. I don't know how he got to MI. Maybe, the operator select screen hadn't finished, had it? But Owen on the Ella, actually. So the FO12 could be being bought. And there's the Vigil I talked about there from Sonic. So scary operator to have, especially on that quote-unquote aggressive roam style here for Throwables. I think they're definitely going to be looking to work that into their strategy here with that Vigil, as well as having the Mozzie and the Ella from Owen. But I think with the shotgun, obviously, he's going to be looking to possibly play a little bit closer to sight, just due to the fact that the shotgun is devastating, to say the least, in close range. So that's probably where we're going to see Owen residing. But, I mean, Vigil is definitely a highlight pick for me, especially due to the fact that their roam game is going to be what will either win or lose them these defensive rounds, I think.
Yeah, interesting that we don't see a Jackal being brought here from selloUTS. Jackal, of course, remaining unbanned for once, which is usually quite rare. So, you know, they have opted to go with that Nomad instead, so it will be a good way of cutting off some of these defenders as they try to come back from that roam. So good, that's a good kind of preempt from them. But apart from that, quite a standard lineup here, and an interesting position being played here by Owen. We know he loves that shotgun, and he's actually being supported by Sonics as well, close on these basement stairs. Not something you usually see here, and they're prone and ready, prepped to go as the attackers are now looking to take this big tower control as the start of this this push.
Well, we do actually see Terrason there supporting the kitchen side there for Sonic as well. But with Sonic finding Molotov early on, that is going to be your ace down. So one hard breacher has bit the dust, but Maverick is still in pay here for the selloUTS. Obviously, Grizzly bringing the operator to the party. Sconix has now rotated on round to try and support Terrason, who does actually have 2 of the attacking members looking to try and aggress through his window here. We'll be just shooting some information out and forcing the jump in here, but could definitely net Sonic a kill. He will do some damage there to Darren, but albeit not enough to net himself a frag. And still hunting for some more early damage here. Will spot the head of one, but he's not quite going to hit that shot. And we could see the rotate here from Throwables. They have done a lot of damage already with finding that big kill on the Molotov. And with Owen now possibly looking like he's going to be rotating back down Freezer stairs as well. Grizzly has actually made it to the bottom of main, though. He is holding that laundry rotate with Mola as well. They have both walked down main, and Sight could be relatively free to take here. We only really see smoke there. Yeah, that is pretty much it. There's only a smoke inside of that 90 position. Will make his way back through the rotate. Spotted out, though. Taken down by Grizzly, who now does have side control. Owen has returned, though. Looking to try and retake. Mola putting the bomb on the floor now. Kai has come to join the party, but from Freezer, Owen will take down 1. Owen gets 2. Jump stream to take down Kai as well, and it was a very quick retake, to say the least, leaving it all up to Darren, but Terrason's there, and Throwables straight back onto the side, aggressively taking it back in their name and putting a round on the board for themselves.
Definitely a very different pace here. I love the aggression and kind of those remote holds that that Throwables are using. They've got those plays on the big tower stairs, kind of denying any push down towards pillars. They've got those players, the Mozzie and the Vigil, just wasting so much time in that shower corridor area. And then, you know, when the time is right, they just fall on right back to sight. And I really like that kind of their play style there. They've wasted the time early on, you know, done some damage, taken out even the hard breach, and then just fall back onto site to collapse onto those attackers who, you know, they thought it was safe to go for the plant. They had their lunchbox out, but Owen from Freezer with that shotgun and the pistol as well, denying that. Ultimately, very, very fast retake. The attackers never stood a chance there. They thought they had their foot in the door, but the door was heavier than they expected.
Definitely. Very, very well said as well. I mean, selloUTS had a very good premise making it onto the side as far as they did. I mean, some very good control was gained there by Grizzly and Molotov, but I mean, it was just pretty much instantaneously shut down by Throwables. I mean, they lost the pick on site. They did lose the first pick on site, but then Owen sort of just showed up and shotgun go Burrit, found himself a couple of kills, even one with the pistol as well, and ultimately they clutched themselves a pretty big round. I mean, if they'd lost that round, may have been a bit of an issue for them. Obviously, 2 rounds towards the loss would have been a lot harder to swallow as opposed to sort of 1 round looking to close things back up. But we have now seen the addition of Jackal to the roster here for selloUTS, looking to shut down this roam. But no Vigil being bought this time means that most likely going to have Terrasan on the roam by himself on that alibi. It's actually going to be Sonic, though, inside of Z on the Mozzie, and we don't actually see Terrasan too close by on that alibi, but still, it is going to be interesting to see whether or not Grizzly can find this pick here. Has actually just missed Sonic walking down those freezer stairs. He does see the footprints, though, so if he does get a scan onto those, Sonic's position will be given away relatively quickly here, and he may be fragged out, but no, he's just going to swing on round, and Grizzly's going to be able to find the opener.
That's a great first pick, taking out that roamer early on, but yes, Mola is going to take a lot of damage. Not quite sure where from. May have been from this Armory player. Shooting out highway, but nevertheless, that will be some damage done, but even more damage done here. Owen takes that Molotov, the hard breach gone, and of course, who would have guessed, it's Owen with the FI-12 playing in Master Bedroom. This is his famous spot. It is, we might as well call it the Owen spot. At this point, does so much damage there. Jumpstream managed to pick off 1, but Chris and Darren from IT answered back 2v3 now in favor of selloUTS, but Terrasan managed to even out. Just manages to, as he is taken out once again with a refrag, and now it's all up to Owen 1v2 this battle. He does manage to down 1, catches him just as he throws the drone, and now it's all up to the Jackal. Chris done so much work today so far in this round, and now it's you know, the best versus the best. Owen holding this close with a shotgun. This is not the best position for Chris, especially with so low health. Owen content now just to kind of just sit and wait. He knows the position of this Ella, but can't really quite push yet. But the Grismet Mine will give him away. Owen swings out and manages to end the life of Chris and take out this round, and even out, in fact, for Monash.
Done well to get it back to 4-4 here. Their attacks did look a little bit not throwables that we see, but I mean, they've definitely cleaned things up on defense. They put these rounds on the board. We got Owen clutching things up. It's all good and well in throwables town. And I mean, look, Ella there played it pretty much perfectly, waited for the Grismot mine, knew he had that information and then acted on it. Very well done by Owen. Ultimately wasn't proning on the floor for once, but still managed to get the job done all the same. Sonic will be 6ing possibly here off of the Mozzie, maybe to bring some denial of some sorts, maybe a mute bandit. Nope, he's going to stick it. We'll be on that Mozzie, so bamboozling the attack is going to be his game here. Darren will be bringing the Ash instead of the IQ, and albeit meeting is going to be the site that we are seeing here bought by Throwables, which the more meta of the two, definitely, to say the least, and Throwables are looking like they want to hold this down. With an extension, we do see one offsite currently, possibly setting up that top floor ready to go for when everyone else decides to set up upstairs. We'll be making his way to the top of White now. Sonic is going to be setting up that top floor. Pika on the smoke, still doing some of that normal site setups. Could see some vertical board out here as well by Throwables. Not something that I wouldn't sort of be confused if we did see, especially in sort of the kitchen area of things. The hatch, obviously, in meeting as well could be opened up, which definitely will provide a lot of information. And indeed, we do see that hatch opened up. Alibi is setting up on that top floor as well. Terrasan does have the bailiff in hand, so can make some of his own vertical. Owen will be getting those walls for him just in case, and he's going to be setting his shield up on the top floor, supported now by Skonic as well inside of Armory, who looked for that instant spawn pick but couldn't quite find any of the heads of selloUTS, and they are going to have to take this top floor if they want to make it into meeting.
And look at that, 3 shields being brought by the Throwables. That's a lot of shields and a lot of utility that selloUTS are going to have to dump into it to remove it. They do have the Yana, of course, with the frag grenades, and probably the Gon 6 as well, and Ash as well. But apart from that, oh, okay, they do have the hard breach as well, but he's going to be needed to open up some of these walls. A little bit difficult with only 1 hard breach here, so hopefully they don't lose him early on again. Last time, of course, Owen swung out onto that balcony and ended the life of that hard breach again. But making their way now through this small garage area, looking like they're going to be trying to cut off this Zulu area and any players rotating back down Armory Stairs. They're going to be working this wall into Meeting Hall and kind of just ignore Kitchen for now.
Well, Grizzly does have his sights on Zulu, and we did actually see Pika getting somewhat close to the angle that Jackal was holding, but he has actually walked away, and Molotov will be downed and punished by Pika, who could have been taken down sort of earlier in that round, but Mola will be there for the refrag. Owen to take down Kai as well to keep the count in their favor. So, albeit 4v3 now here for sellouts. Grizzly is upstairs. He does have red footprints there that no sort of indicates that someone is close by, but there you go. Sonic will swing on round and pick him up with a headshot there. Darren will open up behind him, though, to try and get the refrag, but it's not going to come through, and Sonic, to find a second knife in hand, will take down Darren, and it's all up to Mola in a 1v4. He's going to have to ace if he wants to win this round. We'll start things off by getting the second onto Sonic. Maybe not an ace, maybe a 4K, but still, will get himself 2, and he needs to find 3 more.
It's looking very, very dangerous. And with Owen close on... Oh, never mind. Triple kill from Mola now as Owen is taken down. Yes, Mola, in fact, still on full health. And look at that scoreline, 12, 6, and 3. He is on a roll here. He's got 40 seconds to find these last 2 players, but if anyone can do it, it's him. Diffuser has been dropped in this garage, so he does know that the players are going to be hanging out around there, but it will be not to be, as Jumpstream peeks through these holes that Mola did not expect and manages to take him out for another Monash win.
I think Monash have definitely found their momentum here. Throwables finding themselves a 5th, and albeit finally taking the lead back now in their favor. And I mean, look, they've definitely fought hard for this regain of rounds. sellouts not quite managing to win themselves a single round yet on the attacking side. So we're going to have to see them bring out something pretty spectacular here to seem to throw off Throwables, because they've definitely found their footing. They are going to be bringing that clash back, though. Owen is going to be busting out the clash there. Sonic sort of teases the Warden, but ultimately is going to sort of opt for the Wamai due to the fact that they possibly most likely seen the Ying as well as all the other throwables. We've got nades, flashbangs, etc., etc. So they're going to need that anti-grenade material, and that's probably why they've opted to bring the Wamai as well as that Jaeger for this bottom 4 hold. With Clash as well, it's definitely going to be pretty scary here for sellouts if they are looking to go straight through into bunker, because with that Clash there, the CCE is going to be holding them off for a considerable amount of time, even with a Ying in play. Darren, I think, is going to struggle here with just his utility alone to clear out this clash. He's definitely going to have to do some pairing here, but I mean, there's not really a lot of throwables being bought in terms of individual operators. I mean, only 2 nades, 4 smokes. There is 3 Ying Candelas, yes, but we could have seen Kai bringing out flashbangs on the line, but I think the Claymores are definitely going to be a pivotal here for sellouts, because with no Nomad on the board for them at the moment, they are going to have to be worrying about these flanks. And from the roam we've seen Throwables bring out so far, it is definitely something to take into consideration if you are sellouts, because you have been losing a lot of these early picks on this roam.
Speaking of that roam, I think it's actually very interesting that Throwables have chosen kind of to play a different style here of this basement defense. They've brought the Clash, which kind of signals a more anchor-heavy defense. Sonic's is still playing that top of those basement stairs, but Terrasen is the only one who's really kind of far away. Now, in fact, they fall back quite early. Terrasen is the only one left. So very, very interesting choice that they can choose, you know, to play multiple styles. To play both this roam heavy and also this very anchor heavy. Just look at the damage they're doing. Pika picks both Molotov and Yes Mola, 2 critical players. Yes Mola, of course, with those the very, very good frags, and of course Molotov, the hard breacher. So, you know, they're just so versatile and just so good at, you know, being able to play different styles and adapt. You know, it really shows why they're so good at this map.
Yeah, they did manage to take a lot of the fragging potential down for Throwables, as well as you already mentioned, Mola being one of their biggest kill contributors, especially on an operator like Yana, who just has so much fragging potential, is definitely going to hurt them, to say the least. I mean, the Candela to come out here as well. Sonic will be able to take down Grizzly. Clash may be traded out here, though, due to the fact that he is completely full blind, as well as Terrasen, who will also now be taken down by Darren, but going to be traded straight back out by Pika here, and it's all up to Kai with the DMR in hand. Sonic to clean things up. Will find himself a second, and Monash are going to put another round on the board. I believe match point now, actually.
It is match point, but if there was anything that could ever show how powerful Clash can be when used in the right hands, I would show them that round. That was a beautiful, a masterwork of how to use Clash. The communication coordination there was perfect. Owen, of course, the IGL on the Clash, relaying that information and telling his teammates when to peek out, and backed up by Pika and Sonics, they were just able to do so much damage. The attackers really had no answer for it. They were kind of, although they did bring the Ying out and they did manage to maybe take out one player, it was just very, very difficult for them to gain any sort of significant advantage. And, they just never did. That Clash was so, so strong. So definitely very well done there by Throwables, and what a way to go onto the match point here.
The Clash was amazing to see from Owen. I mean, you've already highlighted, but I think it needs a little bit more. It was Z pings. It looked to be very, very well coordinated. Something they've definitely practiced before as their sort of new given roster. It was used very, very effectively and very, very efficiently. To say the least. I mean, it was very well done by Throwables, and as you said, this is probably why they look like they are undefeated, or looking to keep themselves, undefeated on Oregon here against selloUTS. We could still see them win too and take us to OT, don't get me wrong. Definitely something that we could see here from the selloUTS, but given the fact that they haven't won a single round on their attack yet, definitely sort of highlights the fact that they may be struggling a little bit here on this second half, as as opposed to Throwables, who have managed to find their footing and sort of make some more rounds go in their favor off of some pretty big sort of plays here. I mean, the roam has been something that has just caused so many issues for selloUTS, and then introducing that Clash as well on the defense has just proven to be detrimental to selloUTS as a sort of style of attack. They don't really have a way to directly deal with not only the Clash but the roam. I mean, they tried the Jackal, albeit it worked for a bit of that first round that they bought it out. Ultimately didn't come to win the round. They've sort of bought out different other types of operators. We saw Nomads, etc., and they just haven't been able to shut down Throwables yet. So they're definitely going to be looking to do something about that. But with Owen finding that opening pick onto Darren, their hard breacher again being the first operator taken down, it is not looking good here for selloUTS at all.
Yeah, and this is not the first time that's happened. I made a note of it about like 2 rounds ago that the hard breacher was always the first to go, and then in the next 2 rounds, it's been the same thing. The hard breacher always the first to fall, and that is not something you want happening on any map, let alone on Oregon, which just requires so many walls to be opened. You've got the attic wall and also the games wall for your execute, and now it's all falling apart. 3 rapid kills, and it's a 5v1. Yes, Mola all by himself managed to get 1, but he's again all by himself. Terracen actually gets a team kill. Doesn't work for Yes Mola, but he's all by himself up against 3 players, 3 very good players here, and he doesn't have the diffuser either. It's going to be an uphill battle here, and I'm not sure if he can win. A quick peek here from the Alibi. Managed to get some damage. It actually does down 1, so that's a 2v1 now. So winnable, but definitely not an easy position to be in here.
Well, Pika is on a significant amount of damage. He does only have about 30 HP remaining. Mola does have 1 grenade to his name, as well as 2 drones available here for this clutch attempt. So if he can find a frag onto either Sonic or Pika, this is definitely doable here. If he's looking to just pad the stats at the moment, albeit clutch the round is going to be the ultimate sort of idea here for him. But the nades come out, won't get any damage or get any frags for him just yet. 40 seconds left. We'll rotate round to the bottom of white. Needs to try and get at least one of these frags to have any sort of chance to clutch this round out. It won't be on a bomb plan. He's going to spot the head of Pika, but the reactions are just too quick, and Pika is going to be able to find that frag to net Monash, their first map in this best of 2 series. Oregon, ladies and gentlemen, is going to go in the favor of Throwables 7-4.
Well, I'm sorry, Monash, that we ever doubted you. To be fair, they were down 2-4 at the round half, but after that, it was all Monash. After that defense, after selloUTS defense, they were not able to win a single round. That's 5 consecutive rounds on the part of Monash, and all attacking rounds as well, in very, very convincing fashion. Definitely very well played by them, and once again showing us why they are so good at Oregon. And I just have to wonder, is this going to be the same thing when it comes to Clubhouse? Again, one of those maps that requires a lot of coordination and is very defender sided. So will we be seeing the same thing, or will selloUTS be able to pull something out?
I mean, look, they definitely did have their chance to warm up there. Oregon still remains their map that they are undefeated on. Obviously, Throwables did do very well there after that split. They didn't drop a single round on their defense there to selloUTS, and they did really struggle on attack. So selloUTS could be in a bit of strife here for Clubhouse, especially if the Throwables boys can sort of continue with the momentum that they've managed to sort of find themselves in this first game. But obviously it is going to be cut a little bit here. The momentum is going to be slowed down because we're going to be cutting to a small break, ladies and gentlemen. We will be returning in about 5 minutes for map number 2. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, for map number 2.
The 2020 Australian University League, presented by Chatime. Win cash prizes and represent your university in titles such as CSGO, Rocket League, Dota, Overwatch, Tekken 7, Super Smash Bros., Hearthstone, and Rainbow Six. Over $30,000 in cash and prizes. Don't miss out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. After our first map, we're back again for map number 2 of this best of 2 series. Myself and Spud have made our way back to our desks, and we are here sort of to bring you map number 2. What are we thinking for Clubhouse, Spud? What are the predictions that we're looking for here for this second map?
Well, if Monash continue, their defensive performance on Clubhouse, this could be, a quick map for us. I mean, last time it stretched out to 7-4, but once Monash got onto the defense, they won 5 rounds in a row. So, who knows? Once we get into Clubhouse, they start off on defense. They might, take this 5-0 right off the bat, and it could be very quickly over. So, hopefully sellouts have gone the time to kind of work through what's gone wrong in their attacks and kind of work on that coordination a little bit better as well, because otherwise it could really be over very, very quickly. Throwables are a very aggressive team, and they'll definitely make the most of any weakness from sellouts.
Yes, well, and always starting things off here with the bans. Jackal to go first. Monash actually choosing to get rid of the Jackal there. They are going to be starting this map on the defense, though, so looking to get that early round sort of deficit in their favor. Sellouts going to be banning the Monty, so Jumpstream's not going to be able to jump back on the GIGN op anytime. Don't let Owen have it. He's a menace. They're talking about Ella, ladies and gentlemen, in case you couldn't tell on the shotgun. I believe that is most likely what we're going to see banned, which would leave both Thatcher, who's already sort of scurried his way past this ban phase. We could also see Cade left in if Ella is actually the desired operator ban, but instead it is going to be the Valkyrie here for sellout. So Throwables, I'd imagine, are going to keep Ella in for themselves. They have already lost that Monty, and sellouts have already lost that Jackal, but it's an interesting ban pool to say the least, because Thatcher is actually still in play. Oh,
Capcan. Now that's a target ban and a half, of course. Old mate Yesmola did so much damage as that Capcan. So, no surprises there. Definitely an odd ban. But, if you've watched the first map, you know that, that has to go. Not Darren from IT. He's crying in Discord at the moment. How could you? Look, if I were Yesmola, I would be crying too. That is definitely a target ban. Very, very much targeted. But we will be seeing Thatcher actually get through. Thatcher will be very happy that he has been allowed into the game this time. But actually, they haven't actually chosen to play Thatcher. I think it's just one of those cases where teams are just so used to not bringing Thatcher that they've kind of adapted all their strategies around it. Okay, never mind. There he is.
There we go. He's made his way in. Personally, I would have sort of seen the Twitch maybe switched out there, because a triple hard breach is something that is arguably required on a map like Clubhouse. There are so many walls, hatches that require to be opened up using that hard breach utility. I mean, just for the bottom floor, 3 hatches alone is more than Thermite can physically carry. And then you sort of add in 2 ace charges, then you only have 1 ace charge left. That Maverick is definitely an important character to bring, especially with Cade on the board in most instances. But as we've already sort of learned, Crisley is going to be bringing Thatcher because he's managed to make his way onto the playing field here, as well as Flores, who's actually already going to be making his first round debut here in this matchup, bringing his little RCXDs to the party as well. So good to see Flores on the board. And we have actually seen Flores become sort of the replacement, I would say, really, for Thatcher on a map, like especially Clubhouse. He is used widely to clear out of the walls and sort of shields at top red, which we already see Owen putting down. And they don't actually, I believe, have a mute on the board. Sonic will be bringing that Mozzie for Throwables this time, but no mute, to say the least, in the hands of Throwables. So there is a small direct counter here for the Retiro drones, but albeit a small one, to say the least, which does sort of render them useless ultimately when they do drive through the Mozzies. So a little bit of sort of information denied there for Throwables, but the community vote has come through 72% in favor of Throwables, and it's not something that I don't think I completely argue against. We saw them play really well in map number 1, and if they continue to do so in map number 2, we could definitely see a very quick second map.
Oh, yes, Mola actually taking down low right off the bat. Not sure where he got lit up from. Must have, yep, definitely from the secret tunnel line. Owen already prone beneath the window in classic fashion. Oh no, not again, Owen. Here he goes, jumps out, gets the thermite, not again. The hard breaches are just not having a good day today. Look at that. Thermite, one of the critical hard breaches here, taken right off the board, and he's going for a second. He's still here. I can't believe the balls of this man. He is really going to send it. And once again, we're continuing this trend. We're seeing the hard breach being the first to go almost every time.
I'm surprised that he gets away with something like he's still there. Owen, stop! What are you doing? He's definitely looking to add some salt to the already gaping wound that he's caused for the sellouts here. I mean, the hard breacher, he's just continuing the trend. First rounded every time so far, it seems here for sellouts. I mean, Throwables really doing well, I should say, to get that pick and sort of target that operator. Somehow they know where the hard breacher are, and they're just pushing towards them all the time. But here comes the Arutiro drone. Will be struggling to get through suicide window. We'll make it finally, but gonna not get as far as he would have hoped with that drone to try and clear out the cades here. Possibly just trying to open up a hole in the wall maybe to get the drone on through, but he hasn't quite managed to make it. Ace will be able to get that first hole opened up though. Darren will be taken down by jump stream, however, from rafters. So even with that hole open inside a garage, possibly on the wrong side, not too sure, but Grizzly does have an angle to try and play for a refrag here. But with Picker taking down Kai, Flora is now removed from the equation. It's all up to Thatcher and Twitch to find 5 almost full HP Throwables players, with Picker taking a little bit of damage, but albeit 5 kills to find themselves in about a minute. It's going to be a pretty tall hit for the sellouts to pull off.
They do have that critical breach open, so that is, you know, a little bit of comfort, but apparently it's not going to be enough as the Thatcher is taken off the board now. So it's all up to Yesmola, all by himself, no diffuser. Breach completely open, but he managed to take out one, so that's Pico moved off the board, but he's still got a lot of work to do. 30 seconds and not a lot of health to do it with. Owen on the floor once again, picks up the shotgun now. But I think Yesmola is going to have to, you know, kind of just back off now. It's jump stream, peeks him from that garage door, and ends what was almost a flawless round there from Monash.
I'm not going to lie, I thought Owen got him with the shotgun. Because he looked like he was running towards the main breach. He could have sniped him from downtown there, but didn't quite manage to get out quick enough. We do see him on the pulse now, and if I had to put a sort of sum of money on the fact that he's bringing the shotgun, I would put my life savings on it, because when we've seen him play this pulse shotgun before for the bottom floor, and did I say before for the bottom floor? It's all going wrong, but it's definitely something that I would put money on. Fuse, however, is going to be bought by Darren, a 6 pick from Sonic as well, on to ? Legion maybe? No? Or my? So not an interesting operator, but still some grenade denial, which we don't actually see being bought there from Throwables. But it's a good 6 pick, because Fuse is going to be an issue inside of the kitchen. And I'd imagine that's why the Wamai has possibly been bought, anticipating some of this vertical sort of utility. But it is going to be a good pick for Throwables. They obviously don't know that Darren is going to be bringing that Fuse, because it was 6 pick after the initial pick phase. But it is going to be a pretty lucky strike out there from them in terms of who they've actually 6 picked off onto. Owen does have the, I believe, the 20-shot pistol 5.7 in hand. Does he have the shotgun, though? That's what I want to know. Has he got the shotgun, or is he a UMP gamer? We will find out in the later parts of this round, but right now he does indeed have the shotgun. There we go. So I've made myself a significant amount of money, and Owen is looking to find himself a significant amount of kills here going into the second.
Something I am a little bit concerned about here from the part of sellouts is the fact that they've only got one hard breacher here. You know, we've mentioned that Clubhouse is known for requiring so many things to be open. They do have the Habana, which does make opening those hatches a little bit easier. But of course, this is in the hands of Molotov, who has been the one to take the first pick, first death every single time. So I'd be a little bit concerned there. But opening up a lot of holes here on the floor. Darren from IT is just spamming all. He's just sending them all through this window. Owen is in a world of hurt here. Manages to get away with his life, but so far that's a lot of utility burn, and I'm not quite sure what they've gained for it.
I mean, That's pretty smart from selloUTS. I will give them that. The new shrapnel mechanic does actually allow fuse charges to propagate damage like that in such a way that causes issues for people underneath that floor without actually having to shoot the fuse charges deep into the site, because ultimately that would have just led to a C4 from ON. But Sonic will be taken down here by Mola on the Yana, and Pika is sort of aggressive inside of the kitchen, but ON just is providing so much information on that cardiac sensor from downstairs for Pika that he knows where most of these attackers are. He doesn't have a sort of amazing idea. Obviously, it is only a dot on OWEN's little monitor there, but still more of an idea than he would have had without OWEN present on this bottom floor. And albeit he can see a fair bit, but nothing at the moment with one on the top floor as well. Terrasan was actually holding the hatch there from stock, but with the hatch now being opened up, that is going to force him away from that position, and they do still have to get this kitchen control. They are up in terms of man count. We do see selloUTS on top. They haven't lost that first pick this round, as opposed to what we usually see. But Owen's going to be able to call this dirt push out with the shotgun in hand. Looking like he wants to swing. Indeed, he does. Downs one. No, but Darren's there. He confirms. Jump screen to take down Kai, but Darren gets himself a second. A lot of HP gone now, but a 2v4 for Throwables.
Romus now having to come back to site, but cut off by this crossfire. It's a 1v4 now. It's all up to Pika, but if anyone can do it, it would be Pika. Gets this one peak, makes it almost a 2 as he downs his other player. Diffuses down as well, but yes, Mola finally finishes out for the first round in a long time of attack for selloUTS, able to finally take an attack round. That's been, what, 7 rounds since they last won a round, in fact.
It's been 7 long rounds for selloUTS to finally have something to show for it in terms of their attack. It was a little bit rough on Oregon, to say the least. And now coming onto Clubhouse, they've managed to break their bad streak and find themselves a round to start them off here for their attempt at this second map. Obviously a best of 2. There is no map after this, but they are definitely looking for that draw tonight, because let's be honest, points are definitely going to be desired. A draw is obviously a lot better than a loss. So to say the least, they're looking to at least walk away with one map tonight. I'd imagine they're hoping for it, but they do it in style. They've managed to equalize 1-1 and break their bad streak. So are they going to be able to continue on this round streak, or are Throwables are going to be able to get Owen on the pulse, spawn peeking this time instead of on site? That was the issue they had. He wasn't underneath that window inside of blue. So maybe we'll see Owen rotate upstairs.
Something that I think that selloUTS did manage to do a little bit better compared to previously was the fact that they were able to trade off each other. I think one of those critical moments was that dirt push. Owen, of course, had the information. He did swing out, but selloUTS were able to get the trades and ultimately clear out those 2 players on site, and so that meant it was up to the Roamers who had to come back, and of course with a good fight watch they were cut off from returning and doing so. So that's definitely something that I think has really helped selloUTS here, making sure they keep that early man advantage, getting those trades and playing off each other. Definitely one of the more basic things you do in Siege, but it's so important to get right. It's something that Throwables does really well, and it's great to see that selloUTS are finally starting to pick that up as well. Never mind, Pika gets first onto the onto the fuse, so no funny fuse charges, but Molotov will not be the first to go. We'll take out Pika for a trade back, so that's some good work there, and they still have all the hard breach remaining, so not too bad at all.
Well, if Sonic can be revived here, a 4v4 is definitely going to be a good situation to find themselves in. With Jump Stream coming upstairs, the revive will come out here for Throwables, and he will be returned back to the gunfight, albeit on a very small amount of HP, but he is going to return back downstairs to possibly use that C4 later in the round here, paired up with Owen's utility, obviously on that cardiac sensor. It is going to be quite beneficial, instead of switching off it, then throwing the C4, to have someone with that C4 on the ready to go here. But with Fuse taken out early, they're not going to be able to do their cheeky little shrapnel trick that they tried last time, and instead they're going to have to opt to jump on in to try and clear out all of this utility. But Owen scanner is going to be disabled by the Thatcher here, which is going to allow Molotov to open up that main hatch. choosing to get quite aggressive with the shotgun. We'll spot one, but it's not going to be able to do too much damage with that shotgun. C4 will come out, though. It's not going to make it all the way out the window, and it's not actually going to do any damage to sellout's here. So a minute 30 left for them now. They have the kitchen hatch open. No blue control and no blue hatch opened, albeit Moto, I do believe, is still reinforced as well. So it's going to be relatively hard here for sellouts to execute just off of one hatch being opened, especially with no dirt, no blue, and no moto control. But they still do have a minute, so it is something we could see them pull off here, and especially now we see the rotates coming out from them, we could definitely see them opening up these hatches. But with Owen swinging up main and taking down Grizzly, a 4v3 is now what they're going to have to fight through.
That's a crucial kill there because it is the Thatcher being taken off the board. It's going to make opening the rest of those hatches so much more difficult. You did mention that it's very difficult to attack with only one hatch. And now with the Kaid still up on those hatches, they won't be able to get any more open. They'll be able to get at most one more. It's either blue or moto. And I think it was the blue hatch that was not reinforced. I'm sorry, that was not electrified. A blind shot from Owen managed to take out Molotov, but Kai is able to trade him back and gets a second. And yes, Mola, with a quick entry means it's a 1v2, all up to jump stream now. What was looking a very good position for the defense is suddenly now looking a bit more precarious. Diffuser going down, and this is very well played from sellout's, not going for the aggressive push. Even with the pings, they're not getting too antsy. And now with the diffuser down, suddenly the momentum is all up the jump stream. He has to get two players in order to get this diffuser down. He managed to take out one. Yes, Mola unfortunately caught at an unfortunate time. Now it's all up to Kai. He's managed to get two. Will he get three? But he's already sneaked past the door. He doesn't see him. Both players looking for each other, just playing at the back of AKs. Both looking, but it will be Kai to see him first and wins another round on attack for sellouts.
That's a big improvement for sellouts, to say the least. 2 rounds now on the attack as opposed to the 0 that they actually won on Oregon. Very well done by them. I mean, a round that ultimately should have gone in Throwables' favor has ended up going in favor of sellouts. They've done very well clutching that up there. Owen maybe a little bit too aggressive at the bottom of main. Could have maybe played a bit more passive for more information, calling out a bit more of a push. You never know, could have changed the round, but albeit the round has gone in favor of sellouts, and they're going to walk away with their second here. Throwables now on the back foot, only by 1 round, and they're going to go up to CC Cash, which we have already seen them win here in this matchup. So looking to possibly just equalize instead of going to a different bomb site. They can't quite make the bottom floor work just yet, with sellouts finding both of the attempts downstairs, and albeit they are now on the offensive here. Could see a roam game come out. We don't really see too many roam ops being bought by Throwables. We do see Warden now actually being bought by the Throwables, and the only real quote-unquote roamer is going to be that Mozzie, which Sonic is going to be sticking to here. So, I mean, we could see jump stream on the roam, but from what we've seen from him, he does sort of prove to be more beneficial on that supporting site role, so I'd imagine we won't see that coming to fruition here for the defense. But sellouts are definitely looking a lot better than they were in Oregon on their attack here. Maybe because Thatcher's involved, but I'm surprised actually as to how they're winning these rounds with such little hard breach. They have bought Ace and Habana this round, but in terms of the previous rounds, I'm actually very impressed as to how they're walking away with these rounds without all of that hard breach utility.
Yeah, I really like the change of pace that they kind of brought in. Once they realized that their hard breach was down, that they couldn't really get those hatches open, they decided to just play very aggressively. That push down the main stairs with the refrags, able to take out Owen, and then of course also the collapse in from Yesmola meant that they were able to get site control very quickly, even though they didn't, have all those key positions open. So I really like how they've managed to adapt to that. And so far, Throwables have been doing very well in terms of denying some of these mini games, but at the end of the day, those gunfights have just not quite been working out on the part of Throwables. Could come down to the fact that attackers have slightly better weapons, but at the end of the day, you do need to kind of win these defense rounds, as it is the stronger side. And so far, Throwables have only been able to take out one from what looks like a rapidly improving sellouts.
I mean, defense and attack is such a sort of conversed about. Is that a skin on Kyle? Does he have a skin on? I'm not too sure. That looks a little bit off. But either way, the drop here now for him. on the Twitch will make it all the way down into logistics. I mean, attack, I think, is definitely a lot harder on Oregon as opposed to Clubhouse. Clubhouse, you can sort of have a little bit more leniency with what you do due to the fact that it's just that little bit smaller and it is a little bit easier. Skonic will find Kai, all the same with Yesmola taking down Pika there. All the trade back and forth, they're looking to try and find the player through the wall into logistics. Look at the HP from Mola though. They have calls possibly inside of the bathroom, but albeit Mola has managed to at least escape with his life. We'll bust out the Yana clone here to drone Owen, who will be prone winning inside of construction. Didn't even react to the replicator there coming on through the door. He will actually be able to back off though without largely being punished, but punished he shall be eventually. Molotov able to take him out on the cross there, and outside suicide seems to be a pretty big spot here for the attackers. They've managed to find themselves a 4-3 here, with Sonic finding one though. So a 3-3 to equalize, back in player count now. 45 seconds left. They're going to have to re-aggress into the site. Pika has disconnected, unfortunately, but albeit a 3v3. Darren to go down though from jump stream, and it's not looking too good as Crisley also now falls.
Now it's a 4v1, sorry. It's all up to Yesmola. He's done so much damage, but will he be able to clear this out? He does actually back off from that C4. Great juke. And with the rapid push from Sonics, is able to take him out. A brilliant comeback there from Throwables. I'm definitely showing, you know, a more decisive and convincing hold on the CCTV side. I have to say, though, that it was looking very good for selloUTS. Attack at the start was actually quite good. They opened up that breach wall, but I think it just kind of fell apart in the fact that they didn't have anyone actually watching it. You know, we saw Sonics able to take the fight to that player in the suicide window and kind of just hang around that site without too much trouble. And if there was any player just outside the breach, just kind of Rappel on it even, that entire site would have been denied to Sonics, and it would have made it so much more claustrophobic for the defense to play. So I think that's a bit of a misstep there from selloUTS. They rotated all their players over after opening up that breach, when really they could have just kept one player there and just really reduced the amount of space that Throwables has to work.
I mean, selloUTS have been doing really, really well in terms of the speed that they've been achieving their control. I mean, main breach was opened up within, 20 seconds of the round starting. They then had the logistics hatch open. They had people pushing up the main stairs. They had sort of bedroom master control, and then they already were making short work of the master bedroom breach. I mean, selloUTS really have buttoned down on Clubhouse and sort of improved a lot in terms of the rounds that we've been seeing from them. I mean, so much control, so much, like, it is almost hyper aggressively into the sites and all of their control that they're gaining this early on. But as we've seen from them, unfortunately, at the moment, Throwables have managed to just win their ones and come all the way back up to the 2-2 now. So looking for the 4-2, Throwables are definitely going to be looking to put as many rounds on the board as they can before they switch on to attack. But with selloUTS playing so well on their attack currently, Throwables definitely are going to be struggling to win these rounds easily. They are going to have to fight for them, I think.
Yeah, and this is a very, very fine line to be treading here. They've, again, only one hard breacher, and that's always a bit of a red flag to me. Bringing a single hard breacher on Clubhouse might have some hard breach charges with Kai, and that could be an interesting use there, especially with those cameras there to kind of lock down some of these rotates. But, you know, again, relying on a single hard breacher can be very, very dangerous on this map. But so far it's worked out, as long as old Molotov here doesn't get fragged out right off the bat. But another basement round here. So far the two basement rounds have been won by selloUTS on the attack, and even then without very many walls or hatches open. So, you know, they're quite good at progressing onto the site very, very quickly. So hopefully these Aruna gates will be able to slow them down a little bit on those hatches and some of these key doorways, and just make it a little bit more likely that Throwables might be able to get away with their lives this time.
It is definitely the case. They've returned back from the deep side of dirt and made their way into the site. Pika will still be on that roam though, so could be pinched out here, but we actually see sellouts taking a little bit of extra time this round to drone everything pretty thoroughly before they walk into the building. We've seen them lose a couple of these opening fights here. Throwables obviously getting those early picks, but sellouts are taking their time, which is good to see, especially when they are coming up against the roam game that Throwables have introduced in this sort of their second half of the defense on Oregon, and now ultimately on their first attempt here on Clubhouse. But we do have two roamers on that top floor that I don't think sellouts have a real big idea of whereabout they actually are in regards to where everyone else is on the attack. So we could see Pika and Terrasan go huge here on the top floor. If they can find these players that are yet to know the location, we could see them cause some massive damage here without being largely drowned out. Owen will take down Molotov, though, with that C4 for the opener here. And that is, again, the hard breacher, ladies and gentlemen, going down first. Habana taken out. So only the kitchen hatch is going to be open here now for the attackers. Both Terrasan and Pika know that there's one close by inside a garage, but there's the pre-fire from Pika to take down Darren, and a 5v3 very quickly, make it a 5v2 with Pika taking down Kai as well. Now in favor of Throwables, looking for the third, but he couldn't quite get it. Mola there for the refrag.
Mola definitely one of the MVPs here. He's done so much damage just in terms of, you know, closing out these rounds and so much fragging potential, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough here. There's only 2 players left against the 4, and still a lot of utility to work with here. And of course, these roamers upstairs doing so much damage. I do note that the last time that sellouts won this basement, they were able to take out the one roamer and kind of cut off the rotates very, very early. And of course, a round before that, they flashed off the site and the roamers couldn't actually make it back. But here, it looks like they haven't been able to deal with the roamers here, and that looks like it's going to be the key here. Dealing with these roamers and making sure they can actually safely make it onto site. However, of course, Owen just wants to go and prove me wrong, and he pulls out the shotgun and with a nice 2K, closes out the round for Throwables. 3-2 now as we go into our last round of this half.
I mean, Owen there, what else did you expect? Shotgun in hand equals kills on board for him. He knows how to use it well, and albeit the roamers did sort of force them down blue there, they didn't really have any other way that they could have pushed safely. And I think that really did cost them in terms of the end of that round. They had to just force down blue, and Owen was there waiting. I mean, very well read by him. Sonic to 6-pick off the mirror. No, it's going to be sticking it here. Darren will actually get off of the ace. So again, only one hard breacher here for sellouts. Gym bedroom, albeit I still think you need multiple hard breaches for this. I mean, CC wall, then you have to get cash wall, then you have to get red open, then you have to get con, then you have to get the main wall. I mean, so much in terms of hard breach is required for this site again, and we only see one hard breacher. So it is going to have to be either a hard focus on gym here for sellouts, or it's going to have to be a hard con focus. And I still think they're going to struggle with both, not having them open up.
Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised that sellouts have gone so far with the single hard breacher. You know, they have lost it early on a number of times, but it just speaks kind of to the fragging potential that some of these players really bring, and the kind of very well coordinated and rapid collapses onto site that they're very adept at executing. And that's what's kind of saved sellouts here. It's certainly not opening up those key walls, because sometimes they've just given up on that completely and still won the round. We're seeing a cache hold here as well. This is very, very common. We see a remote offsite hold, and as you look across through that bedroom door, you can actually watch the jump-ins as well. But so far, no spawn peaks, so it looks like Molotov and Co will be safe, but definitely an uphill battle here. Gym bedroom, definitely the tertiary site of choice.
I mean, tertiary, yes. Some teams have actually started running it as their main, which is definitely interesting to see. We didn't see it in this game so far, in this half, sorry, should I say, for throwables. But usually, yes, the tertiary sites, and it is going to be sort of bought out here finally by throwables. It only took 6 rounds, but they are finally going to bust out the gym bedroom. The Cade finally to come out. A bit of Cade tricking here. It's actually going to go off, and the thermite charge will be off of the wall there. The Thatcher, however, no, the Twitch drone, should I say, sorry, from Darren will be able to take out that Electroclaw there. The jump stream will finally be found, though, and Cade Electrical will go back on the board, with Pika taking down Kai as well. That's the fuse off the board here, and all, I believe, one more. No, yeah, finally, all of Thatcher's grenades have been used on this wall to get it open, just so that they can make their way in here to that main breach. But the mirror now also as well taken out. Will's so close to team killing Terrasan there, just missing the head of the alibi from inside of Shower. A little bit of damage dealt from Darren there. The lovely free fire from the Twitch to take him out. Owen looking like he wants to try and find that kill with the shotgun, but Sonic will take him down. Molotov will be able to get Owen though. Outside as well. No, Mola taken down by Pika. Will spot one down there from Sonic, but he will still be resable here for the attackers. selloUTS do have the man advantage here, and even with only, again, one hard breacher, they've actually come really, really far. And they lost a thermite charge in the process, should I highlight as well, ladies and gentlemen. So they've managed to do really well, but ignoring the clone, Sonic goes huge to find himself 2. And the Yana clone didn't quite pay off there, leaving it all up to Molotov in a 1v2.
Well, we've mentioned before that the failure of selloUTS to open the right walls has meant that they've been funneled into these kind of death traps. Last time it was blue, and this time it's gym. This gym wall. They've just been stuck outside, all 5 of them, outside this one wall, and they haven't been able to get a single person in. I don't think any of them actually made it through that breach.
No.
It was very, very much aggressive runouts from Throwables. Owen with the shotgun, and then following up, peeking that one after the other. And, selloUTS didn't stand a chance. If anything, opening the wall actually turned out worse for them, because it meant the wall was what was keeping Throwables inside the building. Once that wall was open, they could get outside.
Oh, it definitely would have been scary for Throwables, just running out into the unknown. I mean, selloUTS, they did well to sort of find themselves a couple of those runouts on the picks, but I mean, you only have so many bullets, and when you run out, Sonic can sort of walk outside and kill 4 people. So unfortunately, that isn't going to go in their favor, and Throwables are going to be able to find themselves that 4-2 half on the defense. Licked a little bit rocky at the start, but they managed to win the 3 subsequent rounds after they lost those middle 2. So very well done to them to get it to 4-2. But now they're going to have to try and make it happen on the attack. And very similarly to what we saw being brought out here by selloUTS, we only have 1 hard breacher here on the board for Throwables. I mean, if it's any bomb site you can get away with it, I will say it's probably this bomb site. 1 ace charge for the garage wall, 1 ace charge for main, 1 ace charge for con. I could see that being doable. However, downstairs, master bedroom, I don't think it is doable, but you do have to be very conservative with your utility. Don't get me wrong, Throwables can definitely pull it off. We've seen them do things like that before, where they use their utility really well in terms of clearing, opening stuff up, etc., but it is definitely going to come down to whether or not they can really do that here against selloUTS, especially with not only Thatcher being on the board, but both Mute, Mozzie, and Cade being bought in terms of denial here. It's going to be relatively hard for them to pull all of that hard breach off without losing a little bit of it somewhere along the way, I don't know.
Yeah, they're really cutting it close, but so far they've done very well with their utility use. Not Darren from IT returns a favor, spawn peek onto Owen, letting him know that if you do it, so can I. I'm not sure. Was that actually from Blue as well? Is that? Oh no, that would, yes, that was from the secret. That is poetic justice if I have ever seen it. Oh no, he makes a second too, right through those holes. And Pika and Owen, 2 of the star players here, moved off the board right off the bat. What a change in pace here for selloUTS.
I mean, especially finding Owen there. I mean, it had to happen. Let's be honest. Owen really had to get punished there. But we actually do see Ash in the bottom of Garage here, completely oblivious to Mola, though, who seems to not have any idea of the position of Ash, but will finally spot him out. The bar's almost costing him his life, with Darren finding himself a 3rd as well. Sonic will be able to get rid of the hopes of a flawless, though, by finding the Rafters player. Mola will now fall, but Clash just on that main breach, giving the Z ping call here onto Sonic, who, albeit going 10-2, is doing very, very well, but selloUTS are looking like they're going to walk away with this round, unfortunately, unless he can pull off a pretty big clutch, to say the least. I mean, Darren is very, very low, but with that Clash on the board here for Kai, it's probably not a very pull-offable round here for him. I'll be very surprised if he does manage to win this, especially with that clash in play. He's going to drop to Logi, though, reload the pistol and punch a hole to try and find some con aggression. But, I mean, other than that, a minute left. He does have the time. He does have the guns. Doesn't really have the utility to make this happen, though.
Yeah, that was overall very confusing round. I'm just not sure what quite happened there. I'm surprised that they were, able to be punished by those spawn peaks. I really thought that of all teams at Monash, so adept at using them would definitely know to watch out for them. But it looks like the clash was also a big factor there, giving out that info. 1v3 now, as Sonics is really making a run for this money, the money here. But Clash once again slowing him down, and he's kind of stuck between these two doors, kind of just rapidly jumping between one and the other. Managed to swing in, but he knows there's players all around him, and Clash now right next to him. He doesn't have the time either. Manages to actually get one and close enough into melee range. He knows there's another player close by. He just has to find him. No gun. Run out of ammo on his first gun. Actually managed to land damage. He could actually do this. Turns around, but unfortunately the Echo Molotov, he finally manages to clutch it out. He might not have been the first kill, but he definitely got the last kill this time. Very, very close. Closer than you would have imagined there. 1v4, 1v5 actually at one point. He actually got very, very close to clutching it out there.
Yeah, I think if Clash wasn't being bought, he definitely would have had a very big chance at winning that round. I mean, he was close, even with the Clash in play. So hats off there for Sonic. He did his best, but unfortunately, no round will be going in his favor, and instead 3-4 now in favor of Throwables still, but selloUTS closing the gap. Kai going to be jumping back on that clash. It seems like Shields are a bit of the bane of everybody's existence in this game here tonight. I mean, we've seen Clash on both sides just be used really well. I mean, Owen on Oregon pulled out some pretty interesting clash play. We saw just then Kai doing very well in the clash. So we will finally, however, though, see a double hard breach here for Throwables finally. They bring in both Maverick and Habana to this party now, instead of just the one. Thatcher, obviously, as well, is going to be in play here with Zofia and Twitch filling in the empty spaces, but Elysian, Clash, Cade, who else, sorry? Alibi and Smoke are going to be bought on the defense. So they do have some pretty decent utility. Obviously, that Lesion's going to be pretty big in terms of late round if he manages to stay alive for that long. We have seen Darren getting pretty aggressive, though, in these last couple of rounds. Could be on for a spawn peak again, maybe. It depends. But, I mean, I was also really surprised to see Throwables die to so many of those early game spawn peaks. I mean, they do them so many rounds on their defenses, and they're just not expecting them on their attacks. I mean, interesting to say the least, but still very well done, and selloUTS have managed to inch a little bit closer to at least equalizing here for map number 2.
Looking like a bit of a total defense here. Not many players. In fact, I think I see all the players actually on site. Yeah, there's no one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where is that last player? Yep, 5 players all on the bottom floor. So that's seeding the 2 top floors to the attack. I mean, it can work. You can kind of hunker down on the site, but with so many soft floors, especially in that kitchen area, it can be very difficult to do that. And it just gives so much room for these attackers to move. They can open up all these hatches. They can open up these, dirt, all these crucial points for free. So I'm a little concerned that they haven't, chosen to roam, but it's not the end of the world. They can, it's still workable.
It's definitely still pull-offable here for them. I enjoy saying that. I'm going to keep saying that. It's going to be my new thing. But they could definitely still do it. I mean, with all the utility they have, the hatches are going to be their main focus here. They do have 2 hard breaches. No pulse this time being bought out by selloUTS. They don't have Owen on their team, so I'd imagine they're going to be just trying to either impact trick this hatch here, Darren, or they're going to be looking to either maybe just brute force it, maybe down main, something like that. With the Thatcher in play, the hatches are going to be somewhat relatively easily opened up here. Mika has actually taken a lot of damage, whether or not that was from a C4 or elsewhere. He has eaten a fair amount of either explosive or bullet damage from someone. So he's going to be very careful with the remainder of his HP, and albeit has spotted out that clash. So he knows that he can't get too close here, but I believe some church aggression is going to be the focus. We do see Terrasan opening up dirt, though, so this is where selloUTS didn't do what we're seeing right now for Throwables. They have that multi sort of pronged attempt here with the aggression coming from multiple areas. We've got the dirt control. We've got the hatch control in kitchen. We now see Terrasan opening up that bar hatch with with Sonic taking down Kai on the Clash, actually, which is a really big pick for them to find, especially due to the fact that Clash was such a pivotal operator for the sellouts in the previous round, and it really did throw Throwables off in terms of their ability to clear her out. But now coming down into blue, dirt, and main, this is going to be a sort of collapse onto the site. They will get 2-0 when on the shotgun on Hibana, to say the least. Jumpstream finding one with Pika as well on the Molotov, leading it all up to Mola. We'll get one onto Pika, needs to find 4 more. The second onto Owen, needs 3 more to make it happen. Will spot out the one inside of Church, but he can't quite land the shot, with Terrasan taking him down, and Throwables to add another round, finally, to their count.
If anything, that was a very textbook attack. They kind of took the territory they needed. They opened up all the hatches, all the walls they needed, and then just collapsed on the site. That collapse onto blue, I think, was really crucial there. It's one of those key points that lets you defend both sites. And with that double push from Oil Pit and down blue, that last player, of course, in blue was squeezed out. And that meant that, Throwables were able to, enter the site without being seen from the Church player. So that was overall very well done, very well executed, I have to say, and definitely something that you take notes on, if anything. But it will be back to this Church basements, Church Arsenal site again. Similar lineup, but this time we do have the Pulse. Hopefully, we'll be throwing some C4 back up, and hopefully they won't be giving up these top 2 floors as easily as we saw in that last round.
I just want to highlight as well, Owen has the shotgun on Hibana. Like, this man is a shotgun legend, ladies and gentlemen. He shotgun on every operator. He makes it work. I mean, I don't know how he does it, but it is amazing, to say the least. I mean, obviously, Hibana having the bearing 9 as well is helpful, but we saw him getting shotgun kills. So, I mean, definitely a monumental player on the shotgun, so very well done by him. But the Pulse is going to be brought here by Kai, and he's actually going to have the shotgun as well, very similar to how we see Owen playing it. So, I mean, look, they now have that information that we saw Throwables bringing along in terms of, obviously, the Pulse. So the cardiac sensor is going to be pretty huge here for sellouts if they can hold on to sort of the knowledge that, yes, we know where all of the Throwables players are. They are definitely going to have a lot easier of a round than they did just then, because as we sort of saw, very textbook hold. They knew exactly what they wanted to do. They had that triple-pronged approach. They had control of both blue, dirt, and that sort of main corridor hatch. And it really just sort of helped them collapse onto the site, arguably with not really much contestment from the sellouts, who were just caught in really bad positions. And right now, they're looking to set up to do it again. They want this dirt control. We already see Maverick fighting Mute at the top of dirt there. Pika taking already inside of Strip with the live drones coming through now. And again, we don't really see too much sort of contestment from sellouts on the roam here. So it's going to be another bunker strat, relying a lot more on this information provided now by Kai on the Pulse.
Yeah, but once again, it is a risky business here. Those floors here can go both ways. They can throw C4s back up, but it also means they're very much vulnerable to vertical pressure. And I believe that's how the Clash died last time. The holes were actually opened up above her, and that's how she got taken out. Not from the horizontal, from the vertical. So I would be a little bit more worried. But hatches being opened up in good time. But Darren from IT actually has something to say about it. A late flank, but maybe being watched. No, he's on his drone, and Darren gets 1, makes it 2. Now he's going to fall back with his life as well. That's all the blue pressure taken out, and 2 players with no trade back. Oh, never mind, spoke too soon. There was actually a third up there. Sonic's able to catch Darren on the return, but that's a great flank there, and that's the sort of aggression sellouts needs to be bringing, contesting the map a little bit more and giving Throwables less breathing room even. To work with here. Chris able to take out another one. Sonics will go down now 2v4, and for the first time, sellouts actually looking in a very good position.
Sorry, the Nitro to come out, but it's so close to finding that frag. Couldn't quite land on Terrasan, who managed to rotate out. Pika will take down Molotov, though. This isn't completely impossible, especially with Pika having 150 bullets in that magazine. He's not going to have to reload in this clutch, which usually tends to be the issue here, but especially through the door now to find one. Pika getting one onto Grizzly as well. It's all up to Mola, and very quickly the tables have turned back in favor of Throwables here, who could honestly rotate to a hatch drop and try and get this bomb down, especially knowing possibly that Yes Mola is actually on that flank. Pika will sort of hear him or have the information. The pre-fire from both, the Zofia charge to finish things off will be his weapon of choice, a direct impact to finish that round out. It will now be, I believe, 5-3 in favor of Throwables. No, sorry, 6? Am I completely wrong? 6-3 in favor of Throwables. Match point, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, they're definitely looking like they want to close this second map out pretty quickly.
That was some great aggression there from selloUTS. I really thought they had it there, but throne work and just some good coordination. Throwables able to bring it back, those crucial kills through that barricade, and also coming down those main stairs, wherever it was. Definitely even things out, and of course, it's once again up to Yes Mola to handle things, but couldn't quite out-aim the impact grenade. I mean, with an impact grenade, you don't really need to aim right. You just aim somewhere in the general vicinity. And with such low health and being a 3 armor, it just wasn't the best position to be in. Got very close, but close is not close enough. It wasn't enough to win a round. Back for selloUTS. And so it will be indeed 6-3 here. Monash looking to take a clean sweep here, 2-0, which will give them 3 points here. selloUTS want to at least bring it back to a 1-1, which means both teams will get 1 point here. So definitely something they will be looking out for. But finally have given up on that basement site. They are going back to the CCTV site. They did win this, I believe. So, you know, could be a chance to come back from this.
It's going to be a tall order. I mean, 3 rounds completely unanswered by Throwables is definitely going to be something that is going to be a tall tale to pull off. But not something completely impossible. We saw selloUTS do pretty well on their defense on Oregon. They need to do that again here, though, if they want to walk away with this at least OT or at least 1-1 in terms of the points, because they don't really want to just gain nothing for their efforts here tonight. They have fought very valiantly to almost possibly the last round here. It just depends whether or not Throwables can close it out. But I mean, we could still yet see OT here for these two teams. The wall will be opened up now by Throwables. We do have active bandit tricking though here from Darren. So we'll be able to get rid of, I believe, one of the ace charges there. So the wall will be opened up partially here for Throwables, but not all the way, and one Selma charge used is ultimately still utility sort of taken away from the attackers. And again, only one hard breacher being bought. Bolt on in from Ace. He's going to find himself one, possibly a second onto the garage play here. No, a lot of HP lost for Owen. No shotgun, though. Will get a lot of damage onto Grizzly, but there we go. The refrags to come out. Darren to take down Sonic. Owen for the Molar as well, and very quickly slows back down after the Bolt. And the bomb now dropped, and there is Pika to find one onto Darren as well, keeping it 3-3. He's just going to walk in as well. He wants to try and go deep in this site. We'll spot the Clash, but no. Clash is going to be facing the right way to block that incoming damage. Kai does have C4s from below. Will take down Pika inside of the site, though, so a 3v2 now for Jumpstream and Terrasan to pick up the pieces.
Oh, Jumpstream does actually manage to get the knife off, and that's a 2v2, and now Chris, unfortunate timing caught by this player, and now Nomad looking the wrong way. It's a 1v1. Yes, Mola, no, his position by the Rooney gate given away. Suddenly it backfires, and no, he telegraphs exactly when he's going to peek, and unfortunate that he could have won that. So very, very close, but it will be Monash to clean up that attack with a very, very interesting strategy known as just sending it. They just jumped right into sight, no drones, and that aggression just caught selloUTS off guard. They almost did it. They almost managed to claw it back, but just off some bad luck and some great gunplay from Throwables. Throwables were able to clean that up 7-3 for a 2-0 victory for the series.
They've done well. I mean, that last round was scary to watch. I mean, they send it straight through suicide, pick up a frag, and they just go, you know what? Everyone else pile on in. We saw Pika come in from Con. We saw Jumpstream come in from the main breach. I mean, how he wasn't punished from Red Hallway baffles me. He managed to not only knife the clash instead of shooting her. He then managed to pick up the remaining 2 frags on site to ultimately clutch the round out there for Throwables, netting them that 2-0. I mean, very, very well done, to say the least, from him. I mean, single-handedly Jump Stream, I would say, clutched that round out pretty well there for Throwables. Unfortunately, we couldn't quite see UTS bring that one back. They did do very well in terms of their attempt. They found that Nitro kill. They found those sort of those refrags, but ultimately selloUTS couldn't quite do it. Spud, what were you thinking towards the end there?
Look, I was at the edge of my seat. I just didn't know how that was going to end. It could have gone either way, and really, selloUTS really could have pulled it back, and they might have even managed to bring it to overtime at least, and we would have stretched it out. But no, Monash just proved to be the better team. They are very experienced players. They've done this a lot. This isn't their first rodeo, and so, of course, they do manage to clear this out. So 2-0 it is for Monash, and we have one other, I believe, result brought out. I think Bruh actually won their game 2-0 as well. Bruh and SW, of course. So far, those are the only results on the bracket. But we wouldn't have any results if it wasn't for our sponsors, of course, on this tournament presented by Chatime Australia, and of course by AOC, our monitor partner, RIG, our headset partner, and Indomie, our noodle partner as well. So thank you for them once again for sponsoring.
Yes, thank you very much to our sponsors. We do greatly appreciate them here at AEL. But I do believe, ladies and gentlemen, that is all here for tonight. A big 2 victories for the Throwables boys, starting their second season off here for the R6 AEL League. Very, very dominantly, I would say. 7-4, 7-3 is a pretty good scoreline to end the night on, and albeit some pretty big matches. I mean, we see them sort of toying with new sort of strategies, having that new roster. I mean, shield play is definitely something that we've seen introduced here across both teams, actually. We saw Clash being bought, as well as the Monty, obviously, on Oregon. Some very, very big, interesting ideas. But other than that, any final thoughts, Spud, for this evening?
All I can say is that I'm excited for the rest of the matches. If we see matches of this quality and with kind of interesting strategies like this, it's going to be a banger of the season, and I definitely look forward to seeing how this all pans out. But I guess we'll have to wait until next week to see how the next match goes, and that will be it for tonight. So this has been Proto and Spudoom, and we will catch you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.